Hello, hello, and welcome to Keep Calm for Moms, where we talk about what it means to parent the next generation with grace and ease. I am Dr. Pamela Ellis, the education doctor, and I am just so thrilled to see you here today. I appreciate you joining in. And for those of you who are joining for the first time, I want to at least do a brief introduction for you in terms of who I am and what my firm does as well. So, I partner with busy moms to help their teen with finding a college that feels like home without overpaying. My firm is Compass College Advisory. And for all of our work that we do, even with employers and schools, we have a framework called Keep Calm. And the CALM stands for College and Accelerated Leadership Methodology. There are 5 pillars of Keep Calm. It's academic, social, financial, vocational, and cultural. And so in our show, each week we integrate some form of one of those 5 pillars. Now, today I get to have a special guest as part of my Boss Mom series, where we talk with busy moms about how they're integrating their professional lives along with the demands of home as well. And let me tell you, I am so thrilled to bring my guest on today because I haven't seen her in years. And it's just so nice to have her join. Come on up here, Victoria. How you doing?
Hello, Miss Education Doctor.
It's so good to see you because last time we saw one another, I was in the Bay Area
Yes.
talking about STEM for girls, and
Yes.
there you were. And no, you know how long ago it's been because your daughter is grown now.
Yeah. Yes, she is a college graduate. Hallelujah.
Yes, yes. So tell our audience, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you. I want you to start with who you are as a mom, and
Yeah.
then we can get into the other fun stuff.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I so
Absolutely.
appreciate this space
Hmm.
that you're offering to parents and just the
Yeah,
Facebook Live family.
yeah.
So I'm a mother of 2 daughters,
Hmm.
Gabriella and Olivia. There they are
Uh-huh.
right there. Gabriella is 16. She's a junior
Uh-huh.
in high school. And Olivia
Yes.
is a graduate of ASU, thanks to all your guidance.
Yes.
And it's funny that you asked that question because
Hmm.
I remember when I decided to have
Yeah.
children, I
Yeah.
knew that being a parent is a
Hmm.
priority, right? Being a
Yeah.
parent is a priority, and that
Yeah.
would always come first. And people would
Hmm.
probably say I was a helicopter mom. I was like over parenting.
Were you really?
Well, when I look at it now, I mean, I've
Yeah.
learned from my daughters, right? I've learned
Yeah.
from my daughters,
Hmm.
but I would not really change hardly anything because I have such a healthy relationship with them.
Right.
And I love my daughters, and I know that they know I love them.
Hmm.
So, yeah, parenting is active and it's forever. I
Yeah.
always say it's a
Yeah.
lifetime ministry, and even when you leave this earth, you'll be parenting them from heaven.
Yes, yes. I hear you on that because I mean, my oldest, he's grown now, and I still try to see him once a month. He don't need me.
I
It's
know,
just it changes, it's a little bit different, but you
isn't it?
still
It is.
never stop being a mom in a sense. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it definitely takes
yeah,
a change of mindset around what your
exactly.
role is in their life now. Even with
Yeah.
my 16-year-old at home, um,
Mm-hmm.
she's very how do you say this? Just independent in the sense of
Yes.
she doesn't need me to say, "Oh, honey, are you hungry?" She's like, "Mom, if I'm hungry, I will eat." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah,
I got it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, we parent differently based on, where they are in the lineup. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure that, some of the things that you did with your oldest, perhaps you don't do with your youngest, even though they're both girls.
Oh, so true. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I probably caused anxiety
Yeah.
in Olivia. And then Gabby, she's like, Mom, I'm going to the
Yeah.
football game after school. Okay.
Yes.
Mom, we're going out to eat. Okay.
I know, right? So
It's
none
like
of that,
that.
that helicopter thing is over with. Too
I
tired for that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't ask the who,
Mhm.
what, where anymore. I'm like, okay, be safe and keep me
Yeah,
posted.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, if you are just joining us, I am talking with Victoria Coverson-Baxter,
Mhm.
and we were just talking about just who you are as a mom. Now, tell us a little bit about professional life for you and some of the
Absolutely.
exciting things you're doing there.
Sure. Well, I've always been an educator, teaching in
Hmm.
the classroom. I had my own daycare early on, which I sold.
Yeah.
And right now, I've been with the City of San Jose Library System for almost 3 years. And
Mm.
I tell you, this job has opened up my eyes
Yeah.
to the immense free resources for parents
Yeah.
as it comes to anything you can think of: homework
Hmm.
support, literacy,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi services,
Yeah.
tech devices, free
Hmm.
checkout,
Yeah.
teen support, just everything is there and it's all
Yeah.
free. So I'm a Family Learning Center coordinator and a literacy
Hmm.
program specialist for the library system.
Yeah. Now tell us, what did you see in this past year? And especially, for our young people, as far
Yes,
as how reading may have changed or not for them
absolutely.
in this past year. What were some of the things you were seeing in your area?
Well, one thing, we've had the
Mhm.
students learning from home, right? So the
Yeah.
distant learning, the impact that has had on learning
Hmm.
loss and that gap, and trying to close that gap for students now that they're back in the classroom. But what I
Hmm.
saw was the library system step up. I
Yeah.
saw our library system create new committees,
Mm.
initiatives, departments, um,
Yeah.
to be able to make sure all the students in our
Hmm.
area had access to Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
And then the literacy portion, I mean, digital literacy, of course,
Hmm.
and had access to laptops, Chromebooks, and
Yeah.
then e-resources. So
Mm.
teaching
Yeah.
students and parents, right?
Right.
Because parents became the teacher, how to
Yes.
access electronic resources so students could
Hmm.
read online.
Yeah.
So I would say the biggest thing I've seen is the
Mhm.
libraries step up to be a resource for parents and schools
Yeah.
and teachers. And then
Mhm.
parents may not know this, but they
Mhm.
can contact their local librarian or library staff member
Mhm.
and check out a bundle of books on a
Right.
specific topic or what
Mhm.
interests them. And a librarian will offer suggestions and have these ready where all they have to do is
Right.
come pick them up.
Yeah. Wow. Now that is a great service for
Yeah,
sure.
free.
Yeah.
It's all free.
Hmm. Now, what do you think keeps families from using those services that the library offers? Because there's a lot that's available, but I'm sure, you have an issue sometimes with just not people just not knowing
Yep.
all
Oh,
that the library
yes.
has to offer to them. So, what do you think can
That's
be
such a
done
key
about that?
question, doctor. That's such a key question, and
Hmm.
we're doing a lot to address that. The first thing is um, getting the information out there because
Yeah,
parents don't know, right? And
right.
over the last decade, the library has changed dramatically.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah,
a place where you just come in and be quiet, right? And we're
yeah,
trying to change that mindset around
right.
what the library used to be.
Uh
Because
huh.
parents still think, oh, if
Yeah.
I take my kids to the library, I have to be quiet. No,
Or
right?
drop
That's
them
fine.
off.
Yeah, right. Okay. No, you don't have to be quiet. The
Yeah,
library is a place
yeah.
for the community, right?
Hmm.
The library
Yeah,
is your tax dollars. So the
yeah.
library is part of every city's mission
Hmm.
and initiative to bring literacy to
Yeah,
everyone for free,
yeah.
and plus programming and resources. So one
Hmm.
is that we got to get the word out there that all
Yeah.
these programs are there,
Yes.
and really work with schools and teachers
Hmm.
help support
Yeah.
this connection, right, by
Hmm.
sharing it at back to school night. The library does a
Yeah.
great job at doing classroom presentations now. You can
Hmm.
call your local library and your
Yeah.
teacher can ask for a school
Hmm.
tour. We do them virtually and I guess soon in person. um,
Hmm.
and I would say the library is there for you.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, go to the library, right?
Yeah.
And if the library doesn't have it, we'll make sure you'll find it. Just see the
Hmm.
library as a
Yeah.
resource. Just like you would go on your phone and Google a resource, walk into the
Yeah.
library or call the library.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I certainly value everything that the library does and know that, even as a business owner, I've used a
Yeah.
lot of the resources just for the
Oh,
databases
that's
that are
awesome.
available. And that's just been a gold mine of information. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, Victoria, do you miss being in the classroom at all?
I love children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do
Yeah.
miss that one-on-one inspiration that you can see
Mm-hmm.
grow, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like the live and I still stay connected, right? Even though I'm
Yeah.
not directly in the classroom, as in my
Yeah.
position, I still work with schools,
Mm-hmm.
school districts, teachers, do class
Yeah.
visits, and a lot of outreach to underserved and underrepresented areas. Um,
Hmm.
but I feel like the library has given me a larger platform to create. So
Really?
I get to
Mm.
create programming for parents and
Yeah.
families
Hmm.
and have a really creative role in that space. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. But I'm an
Hmm.
educator. I'm a teacher. You
Yeah.
know that was
Yes.
born one. I had my first classroom at 6 years old on Cornelia Street in Berkeley, and I made all the kids listen to me. So it's innate, and I'm always gonna be
Yes.
teaching. Yeah, I'll even have
Yeah.
my kids say, "Mom, I'm
Hmm.
not your student." I'm like, "Okay,
Okay, let me back off.
let me bring it back."
So tell me this, let me just actually, for those of you who are just joining me now, I am talking with Victoria Coverson-Baxter, and we're having a great conversation about literacy, reading. She has two daughters, which is
Mhm.
awesome. And let me tell you, I feel like, well, I probably shouldn't say this in case my daughter ever sees this show, but I feel like sometimes, with girls, that could be a little bit more work than
Yeah.
having sons.
Oh
Well,
my
maybe it was
gosh.
just mine, and my sons felt a little bit easier. And I would tease and say, once I had my daughter, I mean, I felt like she was more work than both of my sons in diapers at the same time because girls are just dramatic. And I
Yeah.
mean, I love her to death, but she
Yeah.
she sometimes I just feel like can be a little bit more work. And
Yeah.
so at any rate, I'm going off on a tangent now. What I wanted to ask you about, Victoria, is a question that I get a lot of times from parents. How do you help, instill that love of reading? And
Yeah.
how do you get teens to read more?
Absolutely. Okay, so the first thing I would say, right, when your children are
Yeah.
young in the womb, read to them.
Mm-hmm.
Bring literacy into the home. It can be through
Yeah.
music, it can be through conversation, it can be through poetry, it can be through
Yeah.
something that you're watching on
Mm-hmm.
TV together and that you're talking about it, right? Just
Yeah.
keep talking because language is modeled, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not I read,
Mm-hmm.
right, but I'm not sitting down with novels. I'm usually
Right.
reading research or story or
Mm-hmm.
doing Bible studies or
Yeah.
something in a magazine. But
Mm-hmm.
I believe that talking about it, right? Talking
Yeah.
about how much knowledge you can get from reading.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of parents may not know is that reading is in every subject. For
Mhm.
language,
Yeah. Yeah,
history,
that's true.
math, you're
Yeah.
always going to have to read and decode, right? Math is
Yes.
like a language, which you know that,
Mhm.
right? Math is
Yeah.
like learning a language.
Right.
So I try to say that, to my children and to
Mhm.
students that hey, reading is
Yeah.
powerful. It can take
Yeah.
you places like creating
Right.
this creating the situation that reading is awesome and great
Mhm.
because it's going to take you on adventures.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
reading and writing go hand in hand. You
Mhm.
read like a writer
Yeah.
and write like a reader, right?
Right.
So, making that connection for students and
Mhm.
your children, and then taking them to the library, taking them to author presentations. A lot of
Yeah.
local bookstores offer free, author
Mhm.
visits. Like an author's
Yeah.
going to be there, and you can
Yeah.
come meet the author. And sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah. Now, what about for older kids though? Because I mean, when they're teenagers, sometimes, perhaps they did do more reading before they got their phone.
Right.
And once they got their phone, they haven't been reading
Yeah.
as much. So, what do you do about them?
Well, look at I say motivate by any means necessary. Hey, honey,
Okay.
you want some money? You want to go shopping? Let's read this book together. Or if you're
Yeah.
if you're if you're student, if you're teen children like a
Yeah.
series on Netflix or a
Yeah.
sequel or something, say, hey, this movie's coming out. I
Hmm.
was thinking we can read the book together. Maybe you want to
Yeah.
invite some friends over, bake cookies, and have a book club. Find out what they like and use that
Yeah.
as an avenue to introduce some literature. And then just have
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
honest conversation. What is it about reading that turns
Hmm.
you off?
Yeah. That's
And
a good
share,
one.
yeah, and
Hmm.
share your own struggles. I was
Yeah.
there too. And
Yeah.
this is what helped
Hmm.
me. Listen to books on
Yeah.
tape. Whenever I'm with my
Yeah.
teen, I turn on that CD or music, whatever's in my car.
Hmm.
And if I try to get a
Yeah.
message through, I play it in the car, right?
Hmm.
Come in
Yeah.
whatever way you need to. And it kind of opens up dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are some great tips. Those are really good. And I saw a wonderful statistic yesterday that I thought, really can make a difference in this time. And the statistic was that reading reduces stress by 68%.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so when teens are anxious, they're worried or feeling, fearful in any way with
Yeah.
everything that's going on, reading can actually, really give them that sense of calm and help them decompress in a way that's, really powerful and educational at the same time. Um,
Absolutely.
and the other thing, that I read in this article was the importance of fiction and how that helps with
Mm.
developing empathy.
Yeah,
And
wow. You gotta
so,
send that to me. I'd
yeah,
like to read on that. And yeah.
absolutely, I will.
Well, that makes me think of my 16-year-old
Hmm.
who reads probably a novel a week. She didn't get
Yeah,
that from me.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
this is what she said to me. I go, honey,
Yeah.
you love reading so much. She goes, Mom, it relaxes me.
Awesome.
It
There you
relax.
go.
So that
There
just
you
confirms
go.
what you were
Yeah.
saying. And get a
Hmm.
hold of this. She has to do community service
Yeah.
hours. And she's doing community service at this used bookstore in Gilroy. And she goes every Saturday like it was her job. It's like this huge
That's
old library
perfect.
looking, and
Yes.
she comes home with books. But so here,
Uh,
that's a way. If you
yes.
want to get your child into reading more, your teen,
Yes.
have them do their community service at a used bookstore
Or at the library.
or at the library. Yes, 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 or at the library. Very good. They can do
Wow.
community service at the library,
Yeah.
and most libraries hire
Hmm.
at the age of 15.
Do they really?
Yeah, as
Wow.
being like an aid, a book aid where
Hmm.
you like shelf and then
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, get your child a job in the library.
That's awesome. Now, couple of things I want to talk about before we get to our closing questions. You talked about something really exciting when we were just talking backstage earlier in terms of your getaway. And so I'd like to hear from you. What does self care mean to you? Because you have a lot on your plate. And I
Yeah,
know that sometimes as women, we may feel like, it's okay, we'll get around to it.
yeah. Well, doctor, I'm so glad that you asked that
Hmm.
question because it's taken me a long time to
Yeah.
recognize the power of self-care. And what
Yeah.
I thought was self-care really
Mhm.
was pleasing others,
Really?
right? Trying to,
Oh,
yeah, it's like, oh, if they're
yeah.
happy, then I'm good. No, right. So the biggest thing that I've
Mhm.
made in the last like 30, 60 days is reclaiming the power of no.
I
Right,
love it.
reclaiming the power, right, right. Put that on a post-it.
I
Reclaiming the
know.
power of no. And it's an uncomfortable space. And I had to use this mindset this weekend when I was
Yes.
away with my wonderful friends. Shout out
Huh?
to all of them. celebrating birthdays, and
Yeah.
I decided not to go to the brunch. And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I am gonna stay in my hotel that I paid for, do my homework, and chill." They're like, "What?" Okay. And it felt uncomfortable because I
Yeah.
even questioned when they left and went on their way.
Yeah.
I was thinking, should I have
Yes.
went? Then I have to have that self-talk, right?
Uh-huh.
So self-care looks like reclaiming the power of no for me, and self-talk.
Wow.
Victoria, you did the right thing, yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada. Yeah. So I would say self-talk and small things like going to get a
Yes.
manicure, or just sitting
Yes.
on the couch and no one's
Hmm.
home and you're just watching whatever on TV.
Yes.
Just things that bring peace to you. But really, the power
Yeah.
of no has been the biggest thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I had to get my purple hand
Yeah.
clapper out. That's why I went
Yes.
off camera
It's
for me
like,
if
no,
you really want to know.
right. And you can even say to your children, right? You
Yes.
can even say to your teen, adult children,
Yeah.
honey, I love you, but I'm exercising the power of no.
Exactly.
And walk away.
Exactly.
And they'll be like, yeah. And then you're teaching them the power of no,
That's
right?
right. That's right. That's so good. So
Yeah.
good. So we're already at time for our rapid
Okay.
wisdom questions.
I like
So the
that.
first one, this is a good one and probably a slam dunk for you. What's a book that's informed the way you see being a mom?
Girl, it is the Bible. Um,
Really? I've heard that one before.
oh my God. And let me okay, so why is it that for me?
Yes.
It's that for me, I believe, because I saw my mother model it. And
Mm,
I really looked up and still do to my
yes.
mom. I mean, I have
Yes.
like my mom is no longer with us. She's in
Hmm.
heaven. But I have probably once a month these
Yeah.
crying sessions with my mom about
Hmm.
just thanking her, right? Just
Yeah.
thanking her for how she modeled that God will see you through everything. So that was like
Mm,
my example. And so
yeah.
when I'm struggling with parenting, especially adult
Yeah.
children, because I don't care
Yeah.
how old your kids are, you're still parenting them in some aspect, right? I like to
Yes.
call it like co-parenting,
Hmm.
like I'm
Yeah.
coaching them and parenting them at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
And just scriptures, proverbs, things that
Hmm.
remind me of what my
Yeah.
role is in their life for whatever season they're in.
Hmm. Very good. Now, the second one is in 3 words. The
Uh-oh.
truth about work-life balance is what?
Um, mm, 3 words is no. Wait, no. Um, this is hard. I only get 3 words. Okay,
Three
work-life
words.
balance is no, rest, reflection.
Okay.
No and rest and reflection. So,
Okay.
like, be able to say no, make sure you get rest and reflect at the end of every day. That was too many words.
No, you
Sorry.
said your 3 words. You said your 3 words. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
And then the final one is if you had a do-over as a mom, what would it be?
Okay. I know they say you shouldn't have do-overs. I
Who
would
said? I
listen.
don't know who says that, but
Yeah, I would listen to my firstborn. I would listen to her more
hmm,
because she said to me exactly what Gabriella, my 16-year-old, says to me now. But
really?
but I know that when Gabby is saying that, I've given her a
Hmm,
voice. I should have given Olivia more voice.
hmm.
Yeah, but I've had the
Awesome.
chance to tell that to Olivia.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's real good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Victoria, it's been so much fun. I
I
know. And
know,
it's
and you
early
made it
morning
so
for you.
easy.
I know this is bright and early for you in California, but I
Yeah,
want to thank you so much for joining.
you're
Thank
so
you
welcome, my
so very
friend.
much. Yes,
I wish you the
absolutely.
best.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I'll look forward to seeing you in real life very
Yes.
soon because I'll be back in
Okay.
the Bay Area real soon. Thank
Okay.
you.
You guys take care.
All righty. Thank you all so very much for joining me today for Keep Calm for Moms. I look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, if you have a high schooler that's in 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade even, please check out our college prep toolkit. And you can always just type in the comments college and we will get it to you soon. So take care and I will see you next week. Thank you.